candidates for Fremont Council District 1. As you know, Fremont is now has the first time to have district elections, so very exciting. So I'm going to start with Chandu, and we're going to ask you to do 2-minute openings, and we're going to go down the line. So here, there's the mic right there. So 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chandu Siramdas. I'm running for City Council from District 1 in Fremont. So I have been serving as a chairperson for the non-profit organization, and also I have been serving for various non-profit organizations for the last 15 years. And I have a bachelor's in economics, a master's in political science, and I even have a law degree, but not practicing. I'm a businesswoman, and I'm a mother of 2 grown-up children. My husband is a senior executive in the technology company, and my both sons are doing their engineering, and both of them in the colleges. So I have a plan for, there are many issues, like there are many challenges facing our community, issues like public safety, and traffic congestion is the biggest issue, and public safety, and also housing, which has a huge impact on as many aspects in our lives. So we need innovative challenges to address those challenges and issues, and while creating an opportunity to resolve those issues and maintaining our city's identity. So I have been living in Fremont for the last 20 years and 17 years in District 1 area, and my both kids went to public schools, and having experience in serving various non-profit organizations, and as a businesswoman, I understand the issues of the people who are living in Fremont, and I have a firm opinion that I can represent people's issues, and I can be the decisive, determined, and dependable leader. I'm a transparent. I can maintain transparency and accountability. And thank you.
And you can always finish your sentence, okay? All right. I know we're nervous. Jose.
Hi, good morning, everyone. First, I'd like to start off by thanking the Central Committee for hosting this event, and then also taking the time to thank everybody in the public. I'm sure we all have funner things to do. So my name is Jose Oropeza. I'm running for Fremont City Council, District 1. My wife and I both live in the Northgate community of District 1, and we both work in public service. She's a teacher, and I'm a project engineer for the Alameda County Water District. My educational background includes a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, as well as a master's degree in civil engineering. I'm proud to say that I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I actually worked and paid my way through both undergraduate and graduate degree, so I know the value of hard work. I come from a working-class family, and although my parents weren't able to give me exactly everything I wanted, which is probably a good thing, they did instill within me, a strong work ethic and I think a solid set of fundamental core values. As a city council member, I plan to address some of the bigger issues that our city is facing, as well as similar issues that the entire Bay Area is facing. One of my primary platform points is responsible development. So I know that there are people who are against development, and then there are people who are for development. My position is responsible development, which means working on transit-oriented development and making sure that we continue to construct more affordable housing, as well as supporting rent control for community and people of all income levels. The second point that I would like to talk about is public transportation and just traffic congestion problems. So I'm a huge proponent of improving our infrastructure system, which means installing new traffic controlled cameras, as well as traffic loops, and then just doing an overall analysis to be able to eliminate some of the cut-through traffic and improve our traffic congestion issues. Overall, I think I bring a different perspective to the city council as a civil engineer. I'm trained a little bit differently. I'm trained to look at the data, the logic, and be able to make sound decisions based on facts, not just opinions. And so I welcome your support, and once again, thank you for being here.
Okay, thank you. Teresa.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. So my name is Teresa Keng. I have been living in the Tri-City area, actually my district, for 15 years. So actually, I came to the States, America, when I was in high school. So my parents, actually, they tried to have a small business here in Fremont, but it's hard, very hard for a small business. So they couldn't stay. They had to go. They were going back and forth. So pretty much Fremont, my church and the community around me helped raise us, and so I feel indebted to my community, and I want to bring services to my community. So in District 1, so I'm really happy that we are voting by district for the first time, and because District 1 has not had any representation for the last 12 years since the last council member that lived there. And in fact, there was, in the whole history of Fremont, I believe there's only one city council member that lived in District 1. So we have been lacking in services, especially for seniors and youth. And we have a lot of senior citizens. I was just at one of the parks yesterday. They're gathering there because they don't drive. They can't, the senior center in the South Fremont is too far for them. It takes 30 minutes in the traffic these days. And we need to get them a community space. We need another senior center in the North Fremont so they can have the services they need. They won't, be cooped up in the house, especially, if it's raining, they can be getting in the park. So we need safety, we need better safety. We need solutions for the city, for the traffic. We need to build more mass transit so we can also preserve our environment and solve the traffic problems. So I'm fighting for better services for our seniors and for our youth, and also for the small businesses because it's difficult for them to fight against the big box companies, and we need to support them as well. Thank you so much.
So just wanted to note, just put the microphone up to your mouth so that everybody can hear. And that's okay. We understand that all three of you have not had a lot of political experience because it's a new district, and we appreciate you stepping up and wanting to serve. So I just want to calm your nerves down, and I understand I'd be nervous too. So, okay, I'm going to start with the first question is, Fremont changed to district elections after threat of a civil rights lawsuit given the lack of Latino and African American representation on the council. Did you support the move when they made the districts? And we're going to only do 30 seconds on this, okay? So we're going to start with Teresa. Did you support the move to the district elections?
Yes, so like I said, our district in North Fremont, we have 40,000, almost 40,000 residents, but without a representative, and they don't know our needs. So we're like half a union city, but without any representation in city council, and we've been lacking services. And I have organizations that, like soccer leagues, calling like nonprofit soccer leagues. They're like, the city don't want to come maintain the parks because it's too far from Lake Elizabeth. So that is not a good reason for them, not to maintain the parks for our kids. So we need a representation, and we also need a women representation in the city council.
So I did support the move to go to a district-based system. I think it allows the community to feel that they are better being represented. However, with that being said, I do feel that as a candidate, it's not just your responsibility to serve that specific district. Once you're elected to the council, you need to be able to represent the entire city and do what's best for the entire city. You want to maximize finances and resources so that the whole city as a whole benefits. And so I did support that measure. I think it's important that people feel represented, that people have that closer connection to an individual candidate so that the remainder candidates aren't being overwhelmed by a majority. Thank you.
And you, same question.
Yes, I do support district-wise elections because Fremont has a population of 33,136 people, and every district has about 39,000 people. And if there is any burning issue, definitely I stand because I truly appreciate the people who is going to elect me. And it's fair also to have every representative for every district. So that's why, I totally support this district-wise elections.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So Jose, starting with you, do you support rent control measures in Fremont?
How much time do we have?
1 minute.
I do support rent control. I think that we have a population that varies in age, and we need to be able to provide housing for every single income level and every single individual age group. I also support Proposition 10, which is the repeal of the Costa-Hawkins. And I believe that it's important. People's wages aren't going up in conjunction with what rising and rent costs are going up. And so there needs to be a correlation there. People need to be able to afford. We can't continue to have some of our senior citizens being pushed out of their homes because they can't continue to afford the rents. They live on a fixed income, and then we have the youth too. You know, people are graduating with a huge amount of student loan debt, and we need to be able to prop these people up and help them, you know, as the economy starts to balance and we build and create more affordable housing. It takes time to create more affordable housing, and so I do think rent control is a huge issue and something that I fully support. Thank you.
Hey, Teresa.
Yeah, so I do support rent control because I believe that the landlords can make their profits, but they shouldn't be gouging. They shouldn't, you know, because of the market demand, have huge jumps on rent. So Fremont this year has actually started installed a rent review board, and I like to see how that's working out because they are limiting rent control to less than 5% each year. And so far, I heard that 99% or so of the issues that has been brought up to the board has been resolved. So I'm glad to see that it's working out. But I want to continue to monitor that and also to support any tenants that are having issues with their landlords.
I support the rent stabilization for the, with the one what we have in the city right now. Fremont City has the non-binding mediation, because this is, this is gonna be the big impact on the economy also, because, there are advantages and disadvantages also there. So for example, the lady living in New York, so she is a millionaire, but still she is living in the unit, and she can afford. But our target is, who cannot afford. So we should have a plan, and I rather encourage, affordable housing and more housing, so that we will have the, housing opportunity for those people, and we can also look at the other sources to raise taxes, and also, impact fee, and because of that we can build more housing and more affordable housing to address their issues, not for.
All right. So, Chandu, how do we, do you support a plastic straw ban?
1 minute, 30 seconds.
30 seconds, yeah.
Yes, I do support the ban of plastic straws, because we are already using the paper plates, paper cups, and paper bowls, and this is not new. So it's a next step, and we already stopped the plastic bags too. So we need to look at what is good for the environment, and also what is good for the next generations. And we need to protect the environment and our, as a good citizen.
Okay? And you can always finish your sentence. Okay, go ahead, Jose. It's just, do you support a plastic straw ban?
Okay. I do support a plastic straw ban. I think that we need to be as environmentally conscious as we can be. Our environment is changing. We see that with all the natural disasters that are going on in the world today. And so I think we need to be proactive in addressing some of these issues that may seem minor, but in the end they add up. And it's that type of change that we need moving forward to be able to address the global issues. And so I think that I fully support this measure. I think that once, change is difficult for people, but I think once we jump on board, just like the plastic bag issue, you get used to it and you never know the difference. Thank you.
Yes, I do support the plastic straw ban because they go down to the drain, they go to the ocean, and it's heartbreaking to see the animals get stuck. These things they can process, and so we need to get that in place. I actually do have a bubble tea store myself, and we're already looking at paper straws, even though they cost more. But we're getting the paper straws in place so that these we don't have environmental effects with all these plastic products, and also harming our animals.
Okay, Teresa, starting with you. 30 seconds, okay, because we're going to run out of time here. There's a lot of questions here. Would you support lifting the marijuana ban in Fremont?
Yes, I do support lifting the marijuana ban. I agree that we do have just like we have vapor shops, which is one of my neighbor shops, and people. I support. People can have their choice of recreational activities, but we just need. We can tax them, and the city does need the taxes, but we also need to monitor and there are where they can sell them are also limited, so I agree that it will be, I think it will be fine.
Okay, Jose, what about you?
I do support marijuana. You know, I think that regardless of whether or not we want to accept it, it's being used, and we might as well take the benefit of, you know, increased revenue. When you look at our budget, you'll notice that we have a balanced budget right now, but the reality is in a couple of years, 5 years, there's a 50% increase in pension costs, and so we need to be able to try to tap into any additional revenue sources. I think that as long as we do it in a responsible manner, you know, ensure that deliveries are done in a manner where children and young adults aren't able to get to it, I think that's a good measure. Thank you.
Okay, marijuana.
Yes, I do support access for the patients and adults in the process of passing the Prop 64. And as long as they are done within its responsible way, in a responsible way. And legalizing the marijuana is the great opportunity to raise the revenue, and we can use it for a homeless services. So I totally want, I also.
You can always finish it. Okay, I'm going to start with you. Have you been endorsed? Are you endorsed, or have you been endorsed by Yang Shao? Will you coordinate your campaign with Yang? If so, okay.
No.
Okay. All right.
But I have been endorsed by Assembly Member Bill Kirk.
Oh.
And also Fremont Fire Department and Police Department, and also American Hindu Coalition, which represents 5 million people, and also a lot of community leaders and business people, VPs, CEOs, CFOs, and all these individuals also.
Sure, Jose. Are you endorsed, or have you been endorsed by Yang Shao, and will you coordinate your campaign?
So no, I.
Or is it off? Yeah. You want to try this? Here, try this.
No, I have not been endorsed by Yang Shao, and I will not be coordinating any of my campaign efforts with him. I don't believe in associating myself with people that are intolerant of others. I think that we live in a diverse community, and we should continue to be an inclusive community. It's changed. We need to adapt, and we need to get rid of some of that old rhetoric. And I think that begins by standing up to people like Yang Shao, who try to pass along these negative messages. So no, I will absolutely have no relationships with that man. Thank you.
Okay.
So no, I have not been endorsed by Yan Shao, nor will I support his effort, because actually he had approached me, and I had been avoiding him, but and then he heard that I joined the Democrat, and so I thought, I cannot. But actually last Saturday what happened was I was in an event with him and a bunch of other people. Papa is a it's a neutral organization, but he cornered me, and then he's questioning me, like, so you're a Democrat, are you really for choice? And then I said, yeah, and he actually attacked me on my choice of.
Oh yeah. Jay. Okay. So Teresa, we're out. Okay. We're out of time.
Okay.
So 30 seconds closing. All right.
Thank you so much.
And then we'll go down the line.
What time is that here? Technical difficulties for a second.
All right. Let us know when you're ready, timekeeper.
All right.
Need my phone?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll finish my last point. So actually, Yang Shao has been spreading rumors about me and telling my voters that are supporting him in my district to not support me. And so because I'm a Democrat and believe in the democratic values, even though I'm a new register, because I have, so anyway, so I want to represent my district, and I don't agree with his values of being, not opening and embracing different values and people in the community, and I want to represent all the different groups in my community.
Thank you. All right. Jose?
So thank you, everybody. So the fundamental core value of my campaign is to truly represent the community by being honest, transparent, and accountable. And that's what you can expect from me if you elect me and if you give me your support. I'm willing to work hard for the community. I'm driven, I'm hardworking, and I'm honest. And I'd appreciate all your support, but more importantly, I think that, you know, everybody that has the chance to vote or plays a part in this process should vote for the best candidate, regardless of whether that's me or not, because I believe that that's true democracy. And so, thank you all for your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to introduce myself, and also I want to thank all the volunteers who made today possible. And I became a Democrat since the day I became a US citizen. And I don't have any 9-to-5 job or any business, full-time business to maintain. I have 100% time to put my best time, efforts, and dedication. And also, I believe in democratic principles.
Oh, well, sorry. All right. Obviously the best panel we've had so far today. All right, so thank you so much. Have a great day. All right. Loved it. Alrighty. Okay.